What's up, cool? So I'm gonna be giving story times from here on out. Cool content, coolie content. Merch coming soon. Hit the subscribe button. Join the Cool League family tree. Y'all are my cools, whoever subscribe. So I'm gonna start today with how I never had to join a gang in LA, growing up in LA, but I had a great time, and I was always around the gangbangers, the shooters, the fighters, the killers, people who was causing havoc throughout the city. That was like normal. But it's an art to being cool, being neutral, and being able to still move around the city. You gotta be strategic though, because you could be as neutral as you want, still get caught up in the mix. And there's fairly a small amount of times where that happened to me, but for the most part, once I got my rhythm out here, I learned how to wiggle through different environments, different areas, different situations, and still be able to enjoy my time in the parts of LA that they consider the real LA. So, the real LA really that they be referring to is between, I like to think, Rosecrans and Pico. I could be wrong. That's just my interpretation. That's really where I kind of, for me, that's as far as I would venture out when I was really ignorant to the rest of LA. Like, I didn't even know about downtown LA until about 2018. I didn't know they had subways. I didn't know it was such a thriving area of Los Angeles just until 2018. Before that, it was between Pico and Rosecrans. And so there's only a certain type of activity that takes place between them borders. That's like all the way from West LA to Compton. And I ain't really venture off too deep into Compton. Went to a few parties, to a couple events, but never really dwelled deep into Compton like that. But like South Central, from the west side to the east side, some of Watts, I was in between them borders into the beginning of Compton. So, like I said, I never joined the gang. Now, being young and influenced, I thought it was cool to join a gang, because when we were, in our teens, in the early 20s, being a gangbanger was damn near like being an athlete, or like a star athlete. Like, you could be a gangbanger back then and be more cool than the star athlete because of the respect that you have throughout the city, or the way your name ring bells through different schools and throughout the streets and through different areas. Like, you go somewhere and say a nigga name, and in a whole different neighborhood, and his name ring bells, he's like one of them ones that they refer to as a reputable. So, but me, I never joined. I was interested. I can't lie. I was interested. I also got recruited, but I did not join a gang. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. So I moved here the summer of my 8th grade year, and I went to Orville Wright Middle School. And we had gangs back in Houston, but they was kind of like just emerging. Like, it wasn't like we didn't understand this shit. I think the song, what's the song by Snoop Dogg? Drop It Like It's Hot came out, and I remember, like, we just thought that was the most gangster Crip song in the world, and we was just listening to him bang on the left side. Yeah, that's the Crip side. We was like trying to model that in Houston. But when I moved to LA that summer, I came across niggas like really on me. And I was so foreign to the language and everything, but it was an interesting situation. And actually, right before I moved to LA that summer, I got kicked out of my middle school in A-Leaf. I went to Highland Middle School in A-Leaf. If y'all from A-Leaf, Houston, Texas, y'all know about Highland Middle School. And then I went to O'Donnell. And O'Donnell had a lot of Bloods up there, but they had some Crips up there too. And then one of the guys I befriended me, he was a Crip, and he said he knew about gangs in LA. And I'm thinking like, this nigga don't know. He like, man, look out for these niggas called the neighborhood Crips in LA. They're like one of the biggest Crip gangs out there. And you know, my misinformed self was like, I ain't never heard of no neighborhood Crips. This is only Crips and Bloods, nigga. What are you talking about? Like, I'm just listening. He my friend, so I ain't, you know, disrespect him for saying it. But once I heard it, I'm like, okay. But soon as I moved to LA, my summer of 8th grade, I went to Overripe Middle School, like I said. And this young dude, while I'm in class, asked me where I'm from. I ain't know nothing about where I'm from. So I'm like, shit, I'm from Houston, Texas. I had my accent back then. I'm like, shit, I'm from Southwest A-Leaf, Texas, Houston. Know what I'm talking about? He like, oh, yeah? Oh, this neighborhood. And I'm like, oh, shit. Is this the neighborhood my partner told me about in Houston? So, you know what I mean? That was my first encounter. And so then once I finished out that summer school, I never really have too many encounters with gangs there because I was kind of still to myself. But I was just observing everything. But once I got to high school, I got banged on the first day of school walking through the front entrance at Westchester High School by a nigga from Compton. Matter of fact, he was from, I can't remember what said he was from. He was from Piru, though. And I had a baby blue. If y'all know what baby blue is, that's a powder blue t-shirt. I'm walking in, I got a powder blue t-shirt with a white tee under it, plus some blue jeans. I think the blue jeans was FUBU. You know, FUBU was still popping in Houston when I was out there. Niggas was making fun of me for that. But I had on FUBU and some white Adidas shell toes. So I'm stupid crispy in my eyes. Very crispy. Confidently walking through the entrance of the school. I get grabbed by the back of my shoulder. Like, he grabbed me from here and turned me around like, on Pyro, you better take that. I think he said, on Pyro, you better take that shirt off right now, blood. Or, I have never in my life encountered no shit like this. So I turn around because he snatched me around. I said, I ain't turning around. He snatched me around. So I'm in shock. Not in like no scary in shock, but like, man, who the hell is grabbing me? Turn around. I look up, he taller than me, so he towering over me a bit, and he has another homeboy with him, 2 other homeboys with him, and they just like assisting him while he's pressing me. He like, where you from? I'm like, I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm thinking like, damn, niggas really care about where you from here. Like, I'm from Houston, Texas, you know? So I'm like, nigga, I'm from Southwest A-Leaf, Texas, Houston. He like, oh, blood, you from Houston? Man, my bad, blood. Hey, you gotta watch out with that shirt you wearing, though. That shit gonna get you hurt out here. And I'm like, again, misinformed, being from Texas. The blue that I know about being on some gangbanging Crip stuff is the navy blue that I see in the music videos. I am not aware that there's different shades of blue to represent different entities of these gangs. Me like, you gotta take that off. That's, I ain't gonna say the disrespectful terminology that he used, but he dissed the neighborhoods, which I learned later. Like, you gotta take that neighborhood shirt off. It's gonna get you hurt around here. And I'm like, damn. And the rest of that day at school, man, I was getting dirty looks for that shirt. Like, dirty ass looks. And everybody in the school, eventually I learned, majority of the people was against the neighborhoods. And the neighborhood's main color at that time, that was a powder blue shirt. Whether it was rolling 90s, whether it was rolling 60s, whether it was rolling 40s, who else? The rolling 50s, you know. Anybody who was under that rolling card, a lot of them was wearing baby blue. I am not a gang member, so if you know any information that may be a bit more accurate, please insert in the comments. I don't mind. But it was a crazy time, and I got a ton of stories, man. But I never joined the gang. And so many times I came close with other people that joined gangs. So y'all stay tuned. I got a lot more stories to share. Cool League Chronicles, man.